everybody, Reagan will be here in just a moment. Reagan! You see, after the Friday the 13th video went up, he ran outside and locked himself in here. Ah! So I came out here to check if he's still alive. Ah! Reagan, open up! Ah! How long has that been unlocked?
Tell me, what year is it?
How did you grow a beard so quick? I've only been in here for like a few weeks.
Oh, this is bad. This is bad. I can't think of a new video to make for November. All I get when I Google Thanksgiving games is list articles recommending Pac-Man and Resident Evil 7. Really, that's not a joke. That's actually what they recommend, really. Look it up. I don't get it. Oh, God. If I can't think of a new video to make for this month, the algorithm's gonna take me out back and shoot me.
That's a little bit dramatic. Nobody's gonna shoot you. Ah!
You see what I mean? Oh, God, I'm gonna die.
Okay, well, what about a food-themed game? It's an old Ratatouille tie-in game from 2007. It's obscure and irrelevant, plus making fun of the French is always funny.
French mockery is comedic gold, but it has nothing to do with Thanksgiving.
Just make a joke about it in the opening and the viewers won't care.
You're right! I can't believe I thought of this! Ratatouille Ratatouille is a 2007 video game developed by Heavy Iron Studios and published by THQ, released to coincide with the Pixar animated film of the same name. If you recognize the name Heavy Iron Studios, you probably know them for some of their other work on other movie tie-in games, such as most notably the SpongeBob movie game and Battle for Bikini Bottom, and less notably for UFC Personal Trainer and Evil Dead Hail to the King. Yeah, this game in particular seeming to be one of the more or less notable in Heavy Iron's portfolio, receiving average reviews from most publications and being called a, quote, sufficient if unfulfilling platformer. Basically that means they said it was boring. The most notable thing I can find about this game is that it apparently won an Annie Award for Best Animated Video Game in 2008. What is an Annie Award, you may ask? Well, heck if I know. It's apparently some type of award given out for animated shows and movies, but I had never heard of it until I started researching for this video. It's apparently pretty prestigious, I guess. It's animation's highest honor according to this archive webpage from 2008. And that's about it for the game's history. It was announced in 2006 to coincide with the release of the movie, shipped a few million copies, and then faded into the deep, dark depths of the GameStop bargain bin where all cheap movie tie-in games go to die. But did it deserve such a fate? Well, probably, but I've got nothing else to do for November, so let's go check it out. Except there's just one small problem. I don't have a working copy of the game. I tried legally obtaining a copy of the Mac version, but when I did, it refused to run. So then I tried to legally obtain an ISO for the GameCube version, but my emulator crashed every time I tried to run it, and that was so much fun. I've had bad experiences with Wii emulators, so I didn't even try that. Instead, sacrificed my principles to try and obtain a real disc. So I checked eBay for the GameCube version and... No! Ow, that hurts my throat. So then I found the disc for the Wii version, spent actual real money on it, dusted off my Wii U, grabbed my capture card, and yet again sacrificed my principles by reinstalling OBS in order to record the game. And then I had to wait 2 whole weeks for the disc to actually arrive. But I finally got a hold of it, so now let's take a look. We load up the game and... Ooh, that's some 2007 Wii graphics right there. We first give our save game a very well thought out and clever name. I always like to check the settings before I start a new game, so let's take a look and... Wait a minute. There's a nightmare difficulty? And it's locked? First of all, why does this game have multiple difficulties to begin with? I mean, I appreciate the option, but it just seems kinda odd. Second of all, I can understand nightmare being locked, but why is very easy locked? Third of all, you know what, I'm making too big a deal out of this, let's just move on. Being the Mountain Dew chugging, monitor punching, unwashed pro gamer that I am, I of course choose hard mode, and finally begin the game for real. Starting with level 1, Somewhere in France. Very creative name. And oh, I was wrong. These are some 2007 Wii graphics. Now, you may be saying that these graphics would have looked good for the time. But you know what else came out in 2007, just a month after this game released? BioShock. Okay, now that isn't exactly a fair comparison, but you know what else came out just 2 months after this game's release, exclusively for the Wii? Super Mario Galaxy. I digress though. It's time to get acquainted with our main character Remy, and his brother Emile. Emil? Whatever. You are then tasked with collecting apple cores, which are for some reason perfectly arranged throughout this random old lady's yard. This whole level acts as our tutorial, where we learn the basic stuff that anyone who's even looked in the direction of a video game before knows how to do. Like running, jumping, and holding down Z to initiate this terrifyingly fast sprint. Gotta go fast! Gotta go fast! I also learned that most of the voice cast from the film reprised their roles for this game, including TV's son of TV's Frank himself, Patton Oswalt. Which means I can spend this whole video replacing Remy's dialogue with random Patton Oswalt quotes and it'll only sound a little off.
Who's to blame for my career in comedy? I'll tell you who's to blame. The Little League coach who put me at shortstop when I begged to be in outfield because I knew how bad I was, and during a crucial game, I dropped the ball and let 3 runs score and then started crying in front of everyone. Dad!
So our first goal is to simply collect all of these apple cores, which conveniently lead us to each tutorial. So far, most of the game makes sense. It's all your standard 3D platforming fare. Except for the camera, which is controlled by holding down C on the nunchuck and then pointing the Wii remote. Which isn't that bad, but it's not the most responsive thing in the world. Maybe it's just my old beaten up Wiimotes being annoying. It's really not too big of a hassle though. We climb up the side of the house and enter through the window into what looks to be an attic, and... mission complete? Huh? What's a Gusteau point? How do they even earn them? Is the level over? Oh, okay, I guess not. Why put that there? Was it just so the game could autosave? I think it just means that we finished part of the level? Seems kinda odd. Anyway, we get another tutorial teaching us the basics of acrobatics. More like acro-ratics, am I right? Oh, my sub count just dropped. There's some more tutorials ranging from learning how to sniff out game progression, to walking across random things, to my personal favorite, Metal Gear Solid cardboard box stealth. No, really, I'm not kidding. It's not really stealth though, it's just kind of moving in short bursts to not fully alert the chicken. But it uses a cardboard box, so the joke's still funny. Next, we learn combat when Emil uses this wooden spoon to absolutely demolish this baby chicken.
Let me show you how to defend yourself. We'll use that as a weapon.
It doesn't even try to threaten us, it just walks up to see what's going on and then gets punted into a neighboring country. Even Remy is kinda scared.
Emil, you're really starting to freak me out.
He's not too shaken up though, cause right after that, he immediately follows suit and goes full on Revenge of the Sith.
But there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
So anyway, after that experience, we get our final tutorial teaching us the art of soup can rafting. For completing all 13 of the tutorials in this level, we earn an increase to our health, and get to witness one of this game's masterfully rendered cutscenes.
Why'd you want to come up here again?
Well, that's a very good question, Emil. Apparently, we're here to steal this conveniently placed cookbook, which, once removed from the window, causes the house to start spontaneously combusting. Okay, it's actually this old lady going nuts with a shotgun, but I think the house magically exploding makes much more sense than a French person owning a gun. The old lady's rampage causes us and our fellow rat brethren to have to flee down the Destiny River. Out of curiosity, I did try to see if this is a real river, but all I got when I typed Destiny River into Wikipedia was a Brazilian telenovela, so probably not. This entire river section is very easy. Just avoid the obstacles and jump over whatever you can't go around. You don't even really need to time your jumps. If you run into something, you'll just sit there and grind your face against whatever you hit. And if you have to jump off of your raft, it'll just patiently wait on the other end of the obstacle for you to jump back on. Because, you know, what even is a current? Water? Moving? On its own? I don't know, man. Just sounds like another ploy by Big River to sell more hydroelectric dams. After our physically questionable river rafting journey is finished, we land in the sewers and enter the next level. Home stink home, which is what a French person says when they return home after leaving their own country for once in their lives. Somehow the stolen cookbook has managed to survive floating through the sewers for however long, and Remy decided to try and catch up on his reading instead of searching for his family. Very good choice, I would have done the same. We then get to witness a free-floating, full-torso, vaporous apparition in the form of Chef Gusteau, who appears and sends Remy on an incredibly important mission.
The critics have dropped my restaurant from 5 stars to 4. I believe you, mon petit ami, can help me get that star back.
So, basically, the voices in Remy's head are telling him to get a dead guy's restaurant a better Yelp review. Very good premise, explains a lot, actually. We're in the sewers now. Guess we'll follow these stars and... Oh. Okay, we're here now. That was quick. Fun fact, the average Parisian street is naturally this dark and foreboding regardless of the time of day. This entire section is just a collection of random platforming elements. We cross some pipes, avoid some steam, we even get to use something called a ratapult. It's like a catapult, but for rats. Kinda obvious. Eventually we find the exit, and a new cutscene. Oh, and it looks really nice actually! You know, after that whole platforming tunnel, it's nice to finally slow down a bit and... huh? Oh, okay. We're drowning now. Great. Fantastic. Pacing in this game is all over the place. I've been in roller coasters with less of a breakneck pace. So, Remy's found himself in the kitchen of Gusteau's restaurant and decides cooking soup is his first priority. Now we've got our first minigame, if you can even call it that. All we need to do is point the Wiimote at the ingredient that corresponds with the thought bubble over here. Then we press the button and Remy will knock it into the soup.
Let him cook! Let him cook now! Let him cook! I said let him cook!
It is shockingly easy. There isn't even a time limit or any consequences for getting it wrong. Just point and click. Point and click. After finishing up probably the most disgusting soup ever made, seriously, what soup uses all of these? We admire our work before encountering this horrifying scarecrow man, whose mere appearance causes Remy to immediately flee in terror. Linguini here, that's who that's supposed to be by the way, being a mentally stable individual, decides to taste the soup that he just saw a live rat stirring, and... I guess likes it? Maybe? And now we're sliding down a metal pipe. Yep. No, I don't know how we got here, but this is where we are now and it's too late to do anything about it. This slide segment isn't necessarily difficult, it's just kind of boring, and there's not much to talk about. So let's move on. Well, we're back in our dark, smelly, disease-ridden home. No, not France, the sewers. Here, Remy reunites with Emil and his father, who makes sure that Remy understands that the rat's current situation is all his fault, and his fault alone, and that he should feel terrible about it. He still trusts Remy with an incredibly important mission, however, as this masterfully written dialogue will showcase.
Ah, Remy, I've been waiting for you.
Sorry, Dad, I got lost and ended up in Paris.
Speaking of good food, they feed dogs a bucket of scraps in the courtyard every day. We need to get a hold of that bucket.
And now we're on the streets of Paris. Yeah, once that cutscene with Remy and his dad is over, it just fades to black and we somehow end up here in the next level. Again, the pacing of this game is so bizarre. It goes from civilized rat discussion to hardcore rat parkour at the dropkick of a hat. You going? Okay.
This isn't working.
I know it's not working. Frick. I'm gonna keep doing this till I get the shot. Close enough. So our goal now is to first help this purple cross-eyed rat distract this rabid dog with this conveniently placed human femur, which was for some reason in the trash outside this restaurant. I am a little scared. After that relatively simple task, we need to find wooden spoons to deactivate these rat traps. I don't know why we would need to disable them when it seems like we could just walk around them, but who am I to question the giant rat that makes all of the rules? From here on out, the levels take on a much more open design philosophy, allowing you to freely explore around. But it's not really open world like many other 3D platformers you may be thinking of. Things still need to be completed in a certain order for the player to progress. The level design here isn't bad per se, but it ain't great per se either. There's nothing really wrong with it, it seems well thought out and relatively fun to play through, but it isn't really anything special either. In the words of our Lord and Savior, Todd Howard, it just works. And nothing else. After disabling the easily avoidable rat traps, we can progress by climbing up on this roof and dying to a bunch of finicky platforming over and over again. Hey, I wonder what this glowing cheese plate is. Do I want to enter say cheese? Sure, why not? Huh? Did we just die? Did we die and ascend to rat heaven? Are we gonna meet Rat God? Well, probably not. This is just a bonus level. No need to convert religion just yet. The goal here is to simply reach the end while collecting the stars along the way. There's actually some pretty fun platforming here, alongside this really awkward pause in the soundtrack before the music loops again. I get pretty far here before falling like an idiot and getting sent back to the main level. I don't have the patience to do all of that again, so we're just gonna pretend like it never happened and continue on. Alright, next objective. Get this coin down from the bird's nest up in this stovepipe, chimney pipe thing. I don't know what this is actually called.
This is insane. We're doing all this for garbage?
You know what? Remy's right. This is an absurd amount of risk and effort for one bucket of garbage. This is Paris. I'm sure we can easily find garbage literally anywhere else. Here we go from the more open level design to linear platforming. This area is very straightforward and simplistic. We get to use a ball to commit insect genocide and then catapult up to this tightrope so we can knock over a pipe thing to get a coin. After questioning what I'm doing with my life, we can head over to Immel to begin the mission. What's the mission? Well, it's a series of mini-games, of course! First we have another point-and-click game, but instead of pointing at vegetables, we point at electrical components. There is one other difference, though, that being that we also have to press the corresponding button. If you can tell the difference between A and B, this adds little to no extra difficulty. As long as you're not a literal infant, you're probably fine. Messing with these wires activates an alarm, which draws out Linguini, who is then distracted by the shiny coin we found earlier like he's an NPC in Hitman. This allows this other rat named Git to tie a rope around the bucket and begin pulling it down. I learned that apparently Git is an actual word meaning, quote, an unpleasant or contemptible person, and is also classified as unparliamentary language, meaning that this rat will never be able to pursue his dreams of becoming an English politician. Maybe he shouldn't be in Parliament though, because his minigame takes me forever to figure out. So we have to press A to get this red thing to start moving, then we press it again to make it move backwards, and then press it again when the red thing hits this part of the power circle thing. I do figure it out after a little bit and manage to pull the bucket down. This grants us access to the final minigame. It's more pointing and clicking. That is literally all we have to do. That big red timer there, practically a non-issue. Point the Wiimote at the symbol and then press the right button. That's it. Riveting gameplay. Minigame design truly peaked in 2007. After experiencing the pinnacle of design for the third time in a row, everyone's favorite ginger scarecrow reappears, and...
Even I know a rat anywhere near a kitchen is bad for business.
Oh, good gracious, it speaks! And we're clearly more shocked about this than Remy, who, despite being in a life-threatening situation, sounds more mildly annoyed than anything else.
Not good. Gotta go.
This begins one of my least favorite parts of the game, the chases. They're presented from this backwards camera angle that makes seeing oncoming obstacles and timing jumps nearly impossible. I fall in the same random holes so many times, and every time you respawn just far enough backwards to not lose any real progress, but just enough to make you hate the obstacles. Once we finish though, we do get to witness Linguini crash a bike. So that's something.
Either I hit my head harder than I thought, or you're the rat that helped me with the soup.
I don't recall helping anyone, but whatever floats your boat, I guess.
How about I promise not to chase you anymore, and you promise to teach me to cook?
This seems like a very stable and well thought out plan that is sure to have zero repercussions whatsoever. So we're a cooking teacher now. That's nice. Guess we can head home. It's another slide section. Remember how I said the last slide section wasn't necessarily difficult and how quickly we moved on from it? Most likely disappointing all you freaks out there who like to watch me suffer? Well, don't you worry your sadistic little heads, because this slide segment is awful. The first one was pretty simple. A few jumps, some quick movement, nothing too difficult. This one introduces these horrible fin sections, which do not mix well with the slippery slide controls. And no, slowing down does not help at all. If I try to, this happens. Speeding down the slide and jumping over obstacles doesn't work either. Going faster only worsens the slipperiness of the controls. To get through this slide segment, you need to take it slow and not overcorrect your movement. But, because we're going slow, we just barely don't make this massive jump, and fall to a presumably painful rat death. And the worst part? No checkpoints! If you fall off once, you'll lose a bunch of health and get another chance, but if you fall again, you're dead! And it's all the way back to the beginning of the slide. It takes some time, but I do get through it eventually. Thankful that this video won't become a repeat of Friday the 13th. Remember that? My Friday the 13th video? The one that took me forever to make and I was super proud of that then only got a fraction of the views of my SpongeBob video? Oh man, that was a great video. You should go watch it, right after you watch this one, of course. You were gonna watch the video all the way through, right? Hey, and while you're watching this video, you should like and subscribe, right? You were gonna do that, right? I don't have to remind you, right? Right? Like, subscribe. Extreme desperation aside, we're back home in our foul-smelling pit after spending the whole day protesting the government for like the 5th time in the span of a year. Just another day in the life of the average French person. This is our hub area, where we can access other levels and locations. It's also where we learn the true danger of water. So, water in this game burns you. Because, the French don't bathe? No, don't count that one, that was lame. It doesn't stop us from progressing the game, however. I explore around a bit before finding our next mission. Here we once again meet up with Remy's dad, who tasks us with finding the other rats and stealing food from the cooler in the restaurant kitchen. Remy has some slight hesitations about this. But as we've seen before, Remy doesn't question the morality of situations too much, so we immediately get started on robbing the kitchen. Okay, we carefully immediately get started on robbing the kitchen. The level starts and we get an introduction to our new location.
Are you ready to explore the most famous kitchen in all of Paris?
I've never been ready for anything in my life, but sure, I guess, why not? Now we're back to the more open but not really level design from earlier. I like this level's layout and design a bit more, if nothing else only because it's much brighter than the earlier level. This level does introduce some new elements, namely these crabs that hide in kitchenware and can steal your stuff if you get too close. This level is also filled with various humans that patrol around the kitchen. They are my least favorite part of this entire area. They can spot you very easily, and the stealth meter thing depletes faster than a French person goes for a pack of cigarettes. Getting caught thankfully doesn't cause a game over or anything. Instead, this happens. We need to sniff out the path forward and meet up with the other rats to progress. First, the purple rat from earlier, who I guess was named Twitch, as his minigame hint explains. Insert your own live streamer jokes here, I can't be bothered. So YouTube Live over here tells us we need to get to the main gas switch and shut off the kitchen burners to distract the humans. To do this, we need to platform across the kitchen over to the switch. The path up to it is guarded by this frog, which offers me simultaneously the easiest and most career-ending joke I could ever make. Seriously though, I have no idea what this live frog is doing on the floor of this kitchen. I can kind of understand the pot crabs, but why would there ever be a frog just sitting in the corner of a kitchen? Hi there, I'm Don Joe, here with this year's hottest new appliance, Kitchen Frog. Kitchen Frog does it all. It slices, dices, and goes 1,000 miles an hour. Use it for all sorts of everyday kitchen activities. You can cook with it, clean with it, it's even microwave safe and may or may not be able to feel pain. Don't wait, order yours today for just 12 easy payments of $99.99, plus tax. And if you order now, we'll throw in a second Kitchen Frog free for the price of a second Kitchen Frog. Get yourself one now before PETA finds out. Kitchen Frog. Proudly made in France. Confusing frog placement aside, finding the gas switch is relatively easy despite my many deaths by falling. Once we switch it off, we are then directed over here, where we witness Linguini getting verbally abused.
Linguini! We need the chef special. We need it now.
Average French interaction. This prompts Remy to take control of Linguini. You know, like in the movie? Except here it's honestly a bit terrifying and makes it look more like Linguini is being possessed by a rat demon. So now we're controlling Linguini. Or rather, we're controlling Remy, who is controlling Linguini. Which means we're controlling Linguini. You know what, it doesn't matter. We need to run to these glowing plates of food to begin. What else? But minigames, of course! This salad-making minigame is shockingly not about pointing and clicking, but instead about flailing the Wiimote and nunchuck around. Linguini will hold his hand out above one of these ingredients, and if it's the right one, we swing the Wiimote. If not, we swing the nunchuck. It's not really that difficult once you get the swing of things. you get it? Like swinging the Wiimote. Yeah, that's fair. For the next minigame, we need to quickly peel and cut these potatoes by rotating the Wiimote clockwise, and then swinging the Wiimote to chop. For whatever reason, the game barely responds to me rotating the Wiimote, so there are moments of me getting stuck on the potato and panicking as the timer goes down. Of all the things to put into your game, why realistic potato peeling? Thankfully, I'm able to make it by the skin of my teeth. You know, because, like, potatoes have skin. Like potato skins. How is a negative sub-count even possible? Ignoring my terrible sense of humor, we seem to have successfully done the chef thing. Now back to rat crime. Hey everybody! Git is back! And he tasks us with climbing up to the handle of this door so we can throw a rope around it. This entire platforming segment up to the door handle is very obtuse. There's more weird-looking humans that can spot you instantly, which do not mix well with this game's platforming, as well as a few spots where it's really easy to fall off. Doesn't stop us though, and we conclude another successful mission.
Linguini!
Wait, what?
We need the
Huh?
special. We need it now.
Huh? We did this already. Is the game glitched? Is it looping or something? Oh, okay, it's a new set of minigames. Then why did the cutscene repeat? Were they just too lazy to animate a new one? The salad game is about the same as before, so we'll just move on to the other one. It doesn't work. No, straight up, it does not work. Todd Howard lied to you. We're supposed to press the corresponding buttons when they reach this area here, but no matter what I do, it never registers my button press. I tried pressing it when it hits the small circle. I tried pressing it when it hits the big circle. I started button mashing in hopes that it would do something, but nope. Either I'm an idiot or it's glitched somehow. More likely the former. We completely run out of time and fail the minigame. This doesn't have any real consequences as far as I can tell, but it does cause Linguini to be verbally abused again. So there's that. Our last rat crime for this level is to steal the key to the cooler. It takes me some wandering around aimlessly, but I do eventually find my way to it, return to the quest giver, and blow up this crab who tried to take the key that I had rightfully stolen. This, of course, starts the Linguini verbal abuse cutscene for the third time now. I make salad again, point and click at soup ingredients. This is literally the same soup minigame. Do not ask me to explain it again. Lastly, we fail at making a cake because the minigame is still not working. But I don't care anymore, I just want this level to end. I have been here for so long! Once that's done, we start another series of minigames. First up is Git's rope pulling minigame again. After that is a new minigame where we need to fire a blowpipe at the correct food item. Now, how do you think we do this? Do we A. Do something new, different, and at least mildly exciting? B. Point and click again. Or C, a third option. If you guessed B, then you are correct, my good sir, madam, or in between. Congratulations! You win nothing! There is no reprieve in this dark abyss of a world. Next we have the same rat escape game from the last level, and then quite possibly the shortest cutscene I have ever seen in a video game. Don't believe me? Watch. That entire cutscene was a second long. The loading screens for it were longer. Why even have that if it was just gonna last a second? I don't even with this anymore. I don't even. This leads to a chase section again, and everything that was wrong with the last one applies here. Same backwards camera angle, same annoying jumps, same stupid respawn. In fact, the only thing different here is that instead of a scarecrow chasing us, we have an ugly lump. Once that's over, we have this scene. And then another slide. Yes, the transition is that abrupt. This slide at least is boring instead of annoying, so I don't have to spend too much time talking about it. We finish up the slide, and now we're back in the hub. Please let this game be over soon, I am so bored! Next mission. Remy's dad wants us to steal food. Remy is concerned a bit. Remy's dad says something else. Remy gets over his issue and we start the level. We're in some type of street market. No, I don't remember this from the movie either. Despite a new location, this level plays very much like the previous ones. Run around, don't get spotted by ugly looking humans, blow up a few crabs.
Money! Money! Money!
We need to first run around and knock down these random pieces of food. Then we need to follow around this old lady, who is actually the crazy shotgun lady from the first level. No, I do not know how or why she's here. Don't think about it too much. As we follow her around, we need to push the random foods we knocked down earlier into her bag. It's really easy to do. It is barely even worth talking about. More minigames! First, a repeat of the short circuit minigame. Since I can read, this is no problem. It's the second minigame that's a problem.
You're too late, Sonic! I am now forklift certified!
I hate this minigame. We need to repeat this pattern by moving unnamed female rat here to these buttons and flailing the Wiimote and nunchuck around. Flailing the nunchuck will change the left button's color, and flailing the Wiimote will change the right button's color. Or at least that's what's supposed to happen. The game barely responds to my motions for whatever reason. I shake it up, I shake it down, I shake it like I'm strangling a small child, and it still barely functions. I somehow managed to complete it and then repeat Git's minigame. Now we have another chase scene, why am I not surprised? This one actually has two people chasing. Ugly Lump and Shotgun Lady. Other than that, this chase is just like the other ones. So, guess what happens next? A slide! And this is my least favorite slide segment out of all of them. It has more of those awful fin sections, as well as these finicky turns over insta-death pits. It does allow me to figure out why France smells so bad, though. Because there's holes in every inch of the sewer system! I die, 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 slide around like an idiot, die, Succeed! And now we're back in the hub area. Now it's time for the final level. Like usual, we get the mission prompt from Remy's dad, and then we pop into the level. All of the chefs except Linguini, Verbal Abuse Lady, and the Ugly Lump have left. In the movie, they leave after Linguini reveals Remy to them, but here we never get that scene, so I'm just gonna assume they left because the French are lazy and don't work. I despise this level. Every step of the way through it, there's another inconvenience or obstacle. Try to walk, Ugly Lump is there ready to grab you. Pick up anything, and there's a crab ready to take it. Try to deal with the crabs, you get jumped by bag shrimp that move at the speed of light. It's so slow and obnoxious. Alright, let's get this done. First things first, lure Ugly Lump into this closet. Easy. Simple even. Next, we need to find a way into this office so we can retrieve a recipe book. This entire segment is so annoying. The hole leading to the office is guarded by this urchin, which we can only kill with a wooden spoon. There's a pot crab guarding the guard urchin, so we need to blow up the crab so we can kill the urchin. Except, the explosive bottle that we need to kill the crab is surrounded by these other crabs that can steal the bottle from halfway across the map. Then, once I do get through, I need to use this ball to recreate the insect genocide from earlier so I can enter the office. Once I'm in there, I need to find a can so I can climb up here. I find one all the way over here that I can use. Eventually, I get the recipe book. Then I have to drag the can I fought so hard to get here back into the kitchen. The crab still being the most annoying enemy in anything ever. And use it to climb up to our final series of minigames. Can you hear the exhaustion in my voice? I am losing it!
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is?
First is a repeat of the color button matching minigame from the market. It's abysmal. It responds to my movements about as well as a French person takes a joke, and the timer seems to last as long as the French government. Next is the salad game again. It's a little more stressful than the other time because of the timer, but other than that, it's the same. Next is soup. Do I even bother writing a line for it in the script? It's the same game. Alright, we're breezing through. As long as the cake game doesn't appear, we'll be fine. No. That's it! We're doomed! We need to complete all the minigames to finish the game, and this one doesn't work! The video's over! I'm ruined! Wait. It works? It just works? How? Why? Why does it work now? I guess I should be happy or mad, but right now I think I've gone completely numb. And that's the last one, we're done here. Except we're not, because if you've been playing along at home, you know what comes next. Chase scene! Again, about the same as all the other ones, but now there's a ton of these sticky spots that come right after long jumps and are basically instant death if you land in them. The checkpoints are a little better on this one. Good that the devs learned something with these chases. Too bad they only learned it at the end of the game. And yeah, it's the end of the game. Once the chase is over, we get our final cutscene. This mild inconvenience of a chase somehow causes the entire restaurant to start collapsing in on itself. We escape, but Ugly Lump isn't so lucky. Holy crud, bro just got Phantom of the Opera'd! The implosion of the restaurant and the straight-up murder of that one guy causes Gusteau's restaurant to get shut down, meaning we kind of failed the mission from Gusteau's ghost, but we're not gonna mention that. We end the game with what I'm pretty sure was not the message of the movie.
It is something Gusteau preached his whole life. Anyone can cook, but only the fearless can be great.
So remember kids, if you were ever scared even once in your life, you are destined for the gutter. Being great is for the fearless. So, just don't be French, I guess. So, that's the game, folks, and... well, what'd you expect? This game is not very good. It's boring, it's repetitive, and it offers nothing compared to basically any other game released at the time. It technically works. You could give it to a child and they'd be occupied for around an hour or two. But if you can actually perceive quality, there's really nothing of note here. It's not even that good for reliving the movie. It deviates from the plot in so many weird, confusing ways, particularly during the end. And the weird jumps and cuts don't help it either. And even if you get past that, there's still one massive problem with this game. It's boring as sin. There's nothing interesting here. No gimmicks, no unique mechanics. They don't even really use the Wii's motion controls that much. Even the worst of the Wii's library did that. They try mixing it up with minigames and slides, but they appear so regularly that it just becomes part of the pattern. It's just a very bare-bones, substandard 3D platformer. Is it the worst thing ever? No, not by a long shot. Is it worth spending money on? No, not at all. If you've got an annoying kid or sibling you need to give a cheap gift to, then, I don't know, maybe dig through the bargain bin. But for anything else, send this one back to the kitchen. I give this game a final rating of 4 kitchen frogs out of 10. And that's it, I guess. I hope you enjoyed the video, and... I'm sorry, what is that? What is that? What is going on out here? God, it's an angry mob of French people. But why are they here? What did I do? Oh, right, the racism.
Bonjour bagot de surandé escargot revolution.